Good day, ma'am. I'm Shanay Meritalia, and today, me and my groupmates gonna report on the given topic, which are the elements of art, the auditory, the combined, and the literary art. So, the first topic I'm going to discuss is the elements of art. Elements of art is the visual components or the basic building blocks of arts. Line, shapes, form, value, space, color, and texture. So, knowing these elements, dako kini siya katabang, especially sa mga artists, because they will know or they will allow analyzing and appreciate the way they look in the obra. And also, the viewers can critique the art. We all know nga ang art is human-made. Diri nila gina-express ang ilang skills, their emotions, their knowledge. So next, we have the 7 components of art. First is the line. This is maybe 2 or 3-dimensional, descriptive, implied, or abstract. A line is a visual element is a mark that joins 2 points and can be used to indicate the direction or movement. So, example, ani is ang drawing or ang painting sa isa ka artist kay dali ra kay na makuha ang attention sa isa ka viewer. So, the viewers gonna look into your art in that particular area. So, ang ilang mata is gasubay na sa line or that ang ilang eyes is nagmoving around the artwork. So, lines can be straight or curve or even a combination of both. The next element is the shape. So, shape is created when the lines are connected and encloses a space. It is the outline or outward appearance of something. So, tanang art makes use of shape. It is important sa art because shape can make everything the art wonderful o dili sa makompleto ang shape without lines. The third one is the form. It is an element of art that is 3-dimensional and encloses the volume, includes the height, the width, and the depth. Example of these are cube, sphere, a pyramid, or a cylinder. The value, the lightness or darkness tones of color. White is the lightness value, while black is the darkest one. The value of halfway between these extremes is called a middle gray. So, as we described the picture above, na ay 3 ka-component na ay hue, saturation, and value. So, ang visual elements aning value on how the light and dark color is so the best to understood when we visualize from the dark to light. Value is incredibly important to art. So the 5th one is the space. It is an element of art by which the positive and the negative areas are defined or sense of depth achieved in a work of art. So the visual elements of space refers to the area between the round objects in the painting. So natay 2 different types of space. As we can see the example above, ang positive ani is kanang center or kanang the main mo na ang main object. While ang negative shape kanang around sa main subject kanang naa sa gawas. The next element is the color. It is an element of art that is made up of 3 properties: the hue, the value, and the intensity. When we say hue, it is the name of the color. And the value, it is the hue's lightness and darkness. It is a color of value changes when the white or black is added. The intensity means the quality of the brightness and purity. The high intensity, it is the color is strong and bright. The low intensity, the color is faint and dull. The last element of art is the texture. It is an element of art that refers to the way of things feel or touch if they might feel in touch. Arthur Weasley was an American art teacher and artist. He created the landscapes and sketches before studying Japanese arts, including the ukiyo-e, prints, and woodcuts. Though wanted art students to be able to see, describe, and create the visual qualities in a systematic way. Doe wrote about the elements of art in 1899 in his book Composition, a series of exercises in art structure for the use of the students and teachers. Auditory art. What is auditory art? So, auditory art is the arranging of sounds in time as to produce the continuous, unified, and evocative composition as through the melody, harmony, rhythm, and timbre. This includes the music in all its form but not song, opera, and those arts that combine music with literature. So music, it is a vocal or instrumental sounds or both. It combines in such way as to produce the beauty of form, harmony, and expression. So there are four elements of music. First, we have the timbre. The second, we have the pitch or the relative highness or lowness of the sound. We have the rhythm. It is a variation of length. And last one, we have the melody that will be discussed in the next reporter.
Timbre. The character or quality of musical sound or voice as distinct from its pitch and intensity. It can either be harmonic, polyphonic, monophonic, and accompanimental. Pitch refers to the highness or lowness of sound. Rhythm can form a particular type of pattern called meter. Melody. It is the pleasing arrangement of sounds that composed with timbre, pitch, and rhythm. It is sometimes called the memory element because it is always remembered by listeners. Combined art. It is an artwork that incorporates elements of both painting and sculpture. Combined arts gained its popularity during 1954 to 1964. It is a term that Mr. Rauschenberg invented to describe a series of work that combine aspects of painting and sculpture, virtually eliminating all distinction between these artistic categories. The combines either hang on the wall or are freestanding. Here are some examples of artworks during combined art. Some artists like Robert Rauschenberg, who coined the phrase combined to describe his own works that explore the boundary between art and everyday world. Next is Frank Stella, created a large body of paintings in the late 1950s. Lastly, Adrian Molina creates experimental sculptural paintings that push the envelope of the medium and frequently defy easy categorization. Those are just some artists who gained popularity during combined arts. Combined arts. Combined arts can mean several things. It can either refers to the collection of different art mediums such as painting, singing, and the musical performances. It can also refer to organizations that work over multiple platforms and venues to promote artistic endeavor. First is a performance. It is an artwork or art exhibition created through actions executed by artists or other participants. It may be live or may be recorded. Theatre is a collaborative form of performing art that uses live performances, usually actors or actresses, to present the experience or a real imagined event before a live performances in a specific place.
Music is the art of arranging sounds in time to produce a composition through the elements of melody, harmony, rhythm, and timbre. Music holds textual meaning or the message of the song as ascertained through the lyrics. It will always accompaniment with a composer and a singer. When we listen music, it supports our physical, mental, and emotional health, help regulate our emotions. Film or movie is a motion picture produced as an artistic or experimental venture. There are different kinds of movie contexts, like fantasy, action, comedy, and etc. As we all know, films or movie from the popular Hollywood blockbusters. As now, we watch movies from Netflix and other movie platforms. Literary arts comes from two words, namely art and literature. The key difference between art and literature is that while art generally tends to be visual and auditory, literature is not. It is based on text or script. So literary arts is the form of writing stories, poetry, novels, essays, and etc. that display the beauty of speech and language. The function of literary arts. Conveying moral messages is a part of literary work that show moral messages of the work. These are the moral messages are delivered, some are illegal words. Conveying criticism. Like other stories, there are also literary works that are made to convey criticism so that the consumers or the people who understand the details will have an awareness of this criticism and follow up. Making a sense of nationalism revive is an ideology that emphasizes loyalty, devotion to a nation or nation state. Cultural preservation. Literature is one of the means to preserve culture. The work of writing cultural products and their literary works can give greater impact to other cultures. Education facility. It is what you've learned in the story that you learn the value, norms, and other moral messages. The elements of literary arts. Theme. It is the main issue in the story. Mandate. It is the message to be instructed by the author to the reader. Character. A person represents the story. Conflict. It is a problem experienced by the characters in a story. Setting. It is description of a place, time, and atmosphere. Floor or flow. It is storyline in the work from beginning to end. Symbol is the use of literary works as a representative of an abstract thing. Perspective. It is the representation or expression of the character by the writer in a story. Some of the types of literary art and the history of their development are as follows. Ancient literature. Ancient literature is a written work that was made at the beginning of history when humans were familiar with writing or characters in the year 3000 BC. Usually, ancient literary works take the form of royal historical records such as legends, epics, mythology to poetry. Ancient literary writings on the theme of stories of royal fame and glorification of the kings and goddesses who were worshipped at the time, and ancient praise of ritual or royal law. Ancient Mesopotamian literary works is the first civilization to recognize the writing and literary arts was the Sumerians who occupied the empire in the Mesopotamian region. The people at that time made writing in the form of carvings and carvings written on stone slabs. The first very famous literary work of the ancient Sumerian age was the Gilgamesh epic. Ancient Egyptian literature. The ancient Egyptians left behind several ancient literary and poetic records that were engraved on the walls of some of their proud temples. Some of the literary works of the ancient Egyptians include the legend of Isis and Osiris, the tale of the shipwrecked sailor Hymen Agong to Aten, the maxims of Ptahhotep, and the Westcar Papyrus. Ancient Greek literature. The ancient Greeks gave birth to many literary works that are legendary to this day. Since 1000 BC, the ancient Greeks gave birth to several forms of literary work, including epos, Iliad and Odyssey, poetry, Theogonia, and Erga kai Himerai. The historical records such as Persian Wars, Peloponnesian Wars, Roman conquests in Greek land. Texts of political speeches by Lysias, Xenocrates, and Demosthenes. Ancient Roman literature. Ancient Rome has influenced the development of literary arts in Europe until now. since ancient Rome ruled the entire Mediterranean region through cultural conquest and assimilation. Many ancient literary records are legendary, such as Epos, the Aeneas, and Hercules. Poetry: The Law of Nature Poetry by Epicurus, Catullus Georgica, Amours by Ovidius, and Metamorphoses. The historical records, such as Livius' Roman History. Biography: Agricola by Tacitus. The Ethnography: Germania by Tacitus.